2, 1.
Are we live?
Yes, you are.
Hello, Facebook.
Hello.
It's me. I'm Amy Longard Nutrition.
And I'm Taylor Woodrick from Mermaid Fare.
And we're going to talk with you today all about seaweed. So I'm really happy to have Taylor here because she's kind of a seaweed expert as well as a mermaid. So she's going to tell us all about different varieties of seaweeds, how you use seaweed, and where you can find seaweed. So first, I was thinking that maybe Taylor could tell us a little bit about the nutrition, why people are going to want to eat seaweed.
Okay, thanks Amy. So we're really excited to be here today and talk about seaweeds. And there's so many things to talk about seaweeds. And I always like to compare them to kind of like land vegetables. There's tomatoes and broccoli and cauliflower, and they all have different uses and nutrients, and that's the same with seaweeds too. So here's a display of certain sea veggies. This is dulse. Dulse is very high in protein, for example, and this is Hanasunamata, which has a higher iron level. This sea lettuce has high protein as well, but all of them have the one thing in common, and that is their nutritional value. So they have 56 essential minerals and nutrients, very high in iron, protein, and for vegans and vegetarians, one of the greatest things is the range of B vitamins, because those can be really hard to find in land vegetables. They're also a great source of iodine and magnesium, which a lot of people are deficient in nowadays. And can you think of anything else? There's lots more. Fiber, calcium. Yep, calcium is a big one. And also the fiber, in soluble plant-based fiber. So all the way around.
Yes.
Lots of good stuff.
And one of the cool things about the fiber is that it has that really nice insoluble fiber. It actually helps with satiety, so it keeps you full longer.
Mm-hmm.
So eat a little bit of seaweed and it will keep you full for hours. So Taylor, I wanted to ask a little bit about sourcing of seaweed. So how do you go about sourcing it? Is there any rules? Can you just grab seaweed? Can you just eat seaweed from anywhere?
Yeah, that's actually a really good question, Amy. It's not okay to eat seaweed from everywhere, and it's certainly not okay to eat it if you see it lying on the beach. The reason because you shouldn't eat it just lying from the beach is you don't know, first you don't know where the seaweed has come from, and you don't know how old it is. So even if it's from a storm, you don't know how long that piece of loose seaweed has been drifting around, and it is food. So Mermaid Fare carries cultivated varieties. So we actually grow our kelps on lines, and this way they're traceable and pure. And yeah, the traceability is the biggest thing. We carry some wild species, but only the species that can be regulated. We're very, very adamant that we only carry cultivated or regulated species, and this way we can monitor them, and it's better for the environment as well. So, and then the Hanasunamata, this one is very unique actually, because
bring the cameras in there.
This one,
beautiful Hannah.
Yeah, the beautiful Hannah. This one is a favorite by so many people. And this variety is actually grown in on-land aquaculture sites in Nova Scotia by Acadian sea plants. So this seaweed is, it's grown in state-of-the-art technology on-land aquaculture sites, and as well as the cultivated kelps, it's 100% traceable. So.
And this is all from Atlantic Canada, or do you have different varieties here right now?
We source all of our seaweeds from the Canadian Maritimes. We do have one species of kelp that grows in Maine just the same as it does grow in Canada. So you can find these species in Maine as well. So they're all from the northeast Atlantic region, but mostly from the Canadian Maritimes.
Okay.
Here in Nova Scotia and New Brunswick.
And I wonder, are we seeing any questions coming in on our live feed? No questions yet? Okay. So what we were going to talk about as well is we're seeing there's lots of varieties of seaweed, and people are very interested nowadays. I know we're seeing a lot of growing interest. It's kind of one of the new emerging food trends, but people just don't know what to do with it, like how to use it in their day-to-day and how to incorporate it into their diet.
Yeah.
So I tend to eat a lot of seaweed myself, and I know Taylor also does.
Yeah.
We're kind of addicted to weed.
Yeah.
So Taylor, let's kind of talk about a few ways that you can actually incorporate it into your diet.
Yeah, absolutely. And that is, you're right, Amy, because that is the one thing is how do you use it? You know, you have these nice, beautiful plants. Now, what do I do with it? And we like to use it as an addition to your dishes. So you wouldn't, and this is called Laminaria digitata, by the way. This is a brown seaweed. So this is dried, obviously, and this is what it looks like in a powder form. So we have this in bulk volume and powdered. But you wouldn't sit down and eat this for dinner, but you might sprinkle some powder on your salad, or you might put it in a soup. This you could put in a pot of boiling water and make a really nice soup stock. So that's actually one of my favorite ways. If I'm not eating it in salad, I quite often will drink the broth of seaweed. So that's one way. We often will use it in flakes as well. So this is a product that we're going to be having available in at the end of the month, and this is one of the cultivated species, and this is what it looks like ground. So it's really convenient to just sprinkle on salads. I put it in my smoothies. You can put it in soups. You can basically put it anywhere as you want, and it has a really mild flavor. You can also use it as a salt replacer. So people with high blood pressure, people who are trying to reduce their salt intake, you can replace salt with flaked seaweed and consume less sodium. The dulse, this is in the Maritimes. It's another favorite. The dulse is a red seaweed, and you can just eat that right out of the bag, and it's so tasty. It travels well. I don't know about you, Amy, but sometimes I take it on the plane.
Yeah.
And it's a good snack.
And it's light, so it doesn't add much weight, but you're getting all the nutrients. So.
That's right, yeah. And seaweeds virtually have no fats, but they have all of the minerals and nutrients to sustain you. Yeah. So they really are, they're getting this buzzword for being a superfood. So they won't weigh you down, but they will give you most everything that you need. And the Hana Tsunomata, actually, I think
we have a little demo here. So we have just a little glass of water, and I'm going to sprinkle in some of the Hana in there and show you how it grows. So this is rehydrating the Hana Tsunomata, and you'll see it's growing quite quickly. We could do a time lapse eventually, but you'll see it's going to grow and expand in sizes about 8 to 10 times its weight.
It expands to 5 times its size.
5 times its size. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. So when you look at this little tiny amount of seaweed, as you can see in the jar, it does expand quite a bit.
And actually, what we just dumped in there was 5 grams. So 5 grams is approximately the recommended daily amount. Because seaweed is so nutrient dense, you don't need to eat a lot of it.
So that's 20% of your iron.
And right there, yeah, that's 20% of your iron for the day. In that little serving. As you can see, it's growing, and it's actually definitely doubled in size. Oh, hello. Did we get a like? Hi. Yes, give us a like if you're watching this. We'd love to know if anyone's tuning in. We're going to actually replay this video. It will be up on our Facebook pages, and we will put it up onto YouTube as well. So if you aren't catching it now, you're maybe watching it later on YouTube. Oh, we did get a like. Awesome. So this is our very first time doing a Facebook Live, but we're really happy to bring all this information about seaweed. So we do hope you'll send along some questions, because I know I get questions all the time, as I'm sure you do. And we have our helper, Jake, down here. He's also assistant. Do you have a question?
Yes. Cindy Somerville is wondering, I read somewhere that if you put seaweed in the water when cooking beans, that it will help alleviate gas.
Oh, yeah.
True or
Great
false?
question. Yes.
It does improve digestion, and I think, Amy, we've talked about this before. You put
I put sugar, kelp, or kombu
in your pressure cooker, don't you?
Yes.
With the beans?
So if you have an Instapot, or if you have a pressure cooker, or if you're just cooking the beans on the stovetop, or even in your slow cooker, you can actually add in about 2 inches, or just a little piece of kombu.
Even the flakes.
Flakes will help as well.
Yeah.
So it does actually help reduce gas. And it does increase digestibility.
Just a comment, Rob McLeod, hi. That would go in my salad rolls with an exclamation mark, and helps break down phytates.
Yes, phytates. So when you are doing stuff with like beans or chickpeas, it actually does help break that down. So that's part of the digestibility factor. And not to mention that it's actually infusing the bean water with a greater concentration of minerals. So it's a very much a win-win-win flavor as well. So you're getting that nice umami flavor that seaweed tends to lend to foods.
Yeah, because beans can be quite difficult for a lot of people to digest, so it definitely helps. And actually on the topic of umami, the reason why it enhances the flavor of foods is because umami is actually natural glutamate.
Yes.
So when they discovered umami, the fifth flavor, that led to the manufacturing of MSG. So we don't use MSG, but we do eat seaweed, and it is a natural flavor enhancer. So that's kind of the history behind umami a little bit.
Yeah. So that's one of the things too, is what's great about seaweed is it is a way to get in that fifth flavor into your food. So you kind of want to have that nice spectrum of sweet, salty, is it sour and pungent, right? So yeah, so here's our seaweed actually. We'll jump back to this if you want to go on and see how big it's grown. So that's our Hanasunomata that has expanded greatly. And if you want to just look up here, you can either, we have our little strainer. I'm just going to go and dump this over into the sink. So I'll be back. I'm just going to dump it into the sink. And I'm just going to take some of this out. So you'll see it's nice and fluffy. There's our napkin. So you can see what it looks like fully grown.
And if you're finding that your Hanasunomata, if you don't want to have the water on it after hydrating, you can actually use paper towel, and the seaweed won't stick to the paper towel to dry it off. So just a little quick
just like this.
trick. Yep.
So what we can do is,
Or the towel.
yeah,
It
use your
won't
towel.
stick to
So you can
that.
just roll it up. And I'm gonna actually just bring this over here. I don't know if you do this, Taylor. I just bring it out this way. So this is kind of my technique here. And then we have our salad already prepared. So if you're gonna add it into salad, we can just add this in like it is. And you could add it in and mix it all together. So we'd add a dressing in, and you could easily just combine it. So this is one of my favorite ways to use
Absolutely.
Hannah. So you can literally just toss it in there with your kale, with your carrots, and I think we have beets in here.
Just like a salad.
It's just part of a salad like anything else.
And the maple syrup. We wanted to mention how many of you love maple syrup. We certainly do.
Can we get a like if anyone... Does anyone like maple syrup?
A like for maple syrup? Yeah. Well, it goes extremely and surprisingly well with seaweed. So when we make our seaweed salad, we quite often, well, always, we will put maple syrup on our
we got some
seaweed
likes,
salad.
yes.
Yeah, we need to out there.
A heart. We love seaweed salad. But actually Taylor has put here a couple of the ingredients that we use. So if you're using Hannah, you don't necessarily need to add it to the salad like we just showed you. You can also take this, so you would use this and maybe grate in some carrots, you could put some avocado in, you could put in cucumber, some sesame seeds, and then you take these sort of ingredients. So we have our rice vinegar, we have tamari, we have maple syrup, oh, and here's our little sesame seeds. So you can make a really beautiful salad using these ingredients along with toasted sesame oil goes really well. Sometimes I'll use apple cider vinegar as well for the additional health benefits that you'll get from that. So you can make a little salad and you've got your Hannah and mix it together, and it's a very healthy, filling.
Yeah, full of iron. And the nice thing about the Hanasunomata, if you make this salad and you have it left over, or if you want to make a bunch in advance, you can actually freeze it. And when it thaws, it kind of breaks down the seaweed, so it has a different texture after you freeze and thaw it, which some people really like. And if you make the seaweed salad, you can also mix it in with steamed rice or quinoa.
So delicious.
Yeah.
Seaweed, rice, and quinoa is like the best combo.
It is the best combo.
It's really delicious. And just a little tamari. It just goes so well.
Yeah.
What else are we going to talk about? We're going to show the kelp shots, which we have here as well.
Yeah, we can go through the products.
Yeah, let's go through the products.
This is, we mentioned earlier that seaweed has an excellent source of iodine. So a lot of the times table salt is has iodine added to it, but you always want to have natural sources. And this is a liquid iodine extract from a brown seaweed. This is produced in Nova Scotia, and it was developed by a PhD biochemist. So we carry this product, and it's actually available for naturopathic doctors.
Yes, yeah. So we're recommending it just because it's extremely nutrient dense, and we want to make sure that if you are adding iodine to your diet this way, that you're using it under the supervision of a practitioner. But it's a really, really great product for supporting thyroid health. And if any naturopathic doctors are watching this or want to reach out to Taylor and I, connect with us on our Facebook pages, and we'd be happy to give you more information and share the product with you.
Yeah, so we're excited about the iodine. This is a species called Ascophyllum nodosum. You can eat this. They've been eating it for hundreds of years. A lot of companies will put this in their fertilizers, so it's good for plants as well, plants and humans and animals. And the common name, so you'll hear the Latin name, so Ascophyllum nodosum. The common name would be rockweed. So this is the beautiful golden looking seaweed that you see on the shores of Maine and Nova Scotia. Extremely high in iodine and other nutrients. And it's in the brown seaweed family. The Laminaria digitata, its common name is oarweed. So when the rowers were rowing, it would get caught in their oars, so that was named oarweed. That's also a brown seaweed. And this is what it looks like powdered. That's powdered Laminaria digitata. This is powdered Ascophyllum nodosum, so powdered rockweed. This is Saccharina latissima, and this is one of the products that we're going to be coming out with at the end of the month. So we're going to have that in this variety inflate in these European style pinch jars, and we're actually going to have it in retail bags and strips so you can make your miso soup stock. This is a sea lettuce. This grows close to the surface of the water, and that's why it's so green, is because it does absorb the chlorophyll. This one, we love the flavor. We don't sell it though because it is a relatively unregulated species.
Oh, question or life?
Yes, question. How would I know if I'm low in iodine?
Amy, that might be a question
you're going to
for you.
actually have to go get tested from that through your doctor, or ask your naturopath to send you off to your doctor and get testing for that. But you're going to see conditions with thyroid, low energy, fatigue. If you're starting to sense those things, there's many things it could be. So I obviously can't diagnose or suggest anything on this live feed, but you're definitely going to want to check with your doctor with low energy. Sometimes we'll see sudden weight gain.
So metabolism,
Metabolism,
right?
yes. So anything related to metabolism could be an indicator of a thyroid condition. As well, if you're extremely stressed, that can have a lot of, it can be very taxing on the thyroid, thanks to the adrenals, which are connected to the thyroid. So you'll definitely want to speak with your doctor about getting tested. And we do see a lot of people with underfunctioning thyroids these days because we're just not getting enough iodine in our diets.
Yeah. And actually a note on iodine and the thyroid, if you are currently taking thyroid medication, it is important to talk to your doctor first before you start consuming lots. If you're going to start adding brown seaweeds to your diet every day, maybe check in with your naturopath or your doctor, because food is medicine, and because there is iodine in the seaweeds, you don't want it to throw off your thyroid medication. So some holistic nutritionists and naturopaths will recommend seaweeds, but you have to be careful if you're taking medication.
And like we said, it's a very small amount goes a long way. So with seaweed, when you are starting to add it in your diet, because of the source of dietary fiber, you don't want to necessarily eat a huge batch in one sitting. So you want to start small and start by adding it into your foods daily in small doses. The same with any sort of dietary fiber, like beans. You can't just eat a whole bunch right away if you're not used to eating it. Your digestive system just won't be able to break it down right away. So you want to slowly ease into that stuff. Oh, do we have a question?
Where exactly is the seaweed grown? Are there specific areas of water that are reserved for seaweed farming, or is it grown in aquariums or just picked from the ocean?
That's a great question. So the seaweeds are kelps, are brown seaweeds. So our sugar kelp, and we've got wakame coming as well. Those are cultivated in the Bay of Fundy. So it's in a licensed and approved aquaculture leasehold site. So they're monitored, and we are registered to actually cultivate the seaweeds there. And this specific variety, Hana Tsunamata, that is cultivated in on-land aquaculture tanks by Acadian Sea Plants. And again, they are approved and licensed, and a very large company that cultivates the seaweed. The dulse, some companies have tried to cultivate dulse, but they need the very particular and the right environment to grow in. So it's mostly always wild, or it is always wild. This is spirulina, actually. This is a microalgae where these seaweeds are macroalgae, and this is cultivated as well. And they do that in greenhouses.
Okay.
Yeah, in tanks as well. So that's a great question. If I hope that answers it for you.
Let us know if you have any more questions about that, and we can probably clarify. I think too, with the on-land aquaculture, is there sort of a filtration system as well to regulate, say, toxicity, any environmental toxins that may?
Yes. Yeah,
Okay.
and that is one of the reasons why Mermaid Fare specifically carries cultivated species, is because we can monitor them and they're traceable. So we know exactly where they're grown, where they're coming from. They're analyzed, and their traceability.
And do we have any more questions?
She just says thanks. Wow.
Okay, thank you. So I guess in terms of the seaweed, I'm sure some of you may be wondering where you can get it. Oh, we didn't show this one. So Taylor, did you want to talk? This is one which is really unique and interesting.
Yeah, so this is the common name is sea spaghetti. You can tell why, and so this is dried. This grows in Europe, in different bodies of water in Europe, like and not in Canada. So this one is actually from France. We're going to be carrying this in the near future. But this is delicious. First you hydrate it, and you can add it to pastas, you can add it to salads, and it's just a beautiful product. I wouldn't eat a whole plate of seaweed pasta, because that's a lot of seaweed and a lot of minerals at one time. But if you put this amount in a pasta,
mixing it in with the noodles.
Exactly, yeah. Just like you would maybe mix in some zucchini noodles with your pasta, or you could mix these with zucchini noodles spiralized. So yeah, as an addition. But we're really excited about these, and they're quite tasty.
So make sure to follow Mermaid Fare to stay tuned on them when that comes, or follow my page, Amy Longard Nutrition. We're going to try to keep you up to date on what we have and when we have it, because seaweeds, like land plants, that actually grow seasonally, which we didn't really mention, is that they do grow seasonally, so things aren't available all year round.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, these are all in limited supplies, because like Amy mentioned, they're food, they're grown. So you can visit our online shop at mermaidfare.com, or if you're in Ottawa and Ontario, Amy is actually our distributor there. So if you're in that region, get in touch with her. She also has a newsletter. Amy put out a lot of
Oh, lost sound.
Oh, she can't hear us.
Oh, maybe she may have to turn up the volume. I guess. Okay. So we're
No sound. People are saying no sound.
Oh, no sound. Just a sec. I'll look at
Covering
that.
the mic? I don't think. Am I covering the mic?
No sound. Oh, can you hear now? Oh, we're back. Okay, don't cover the bottom.
Okay. Oh, maybe that's what it was.
Watch your hand,
Sorry.
you're covering the screen too. Nope.
Yep.
There you go. Okay,
Sorry.
We're back.
Maybe we'll do a shout out for
Yes,
our Dutch pals.
Yes, so Taylor, do you want to tell about this? Is an amazing cookbook. If you're looking to learn more about seaweed, Taylor and I both love this book, so she'll tell you more.
Yeah, so these are seaweed enthusiast ocean greens. It's a plant-based cookbook that's all about vegan food and sea veggies, and they have beautiful illustrations. This company, they're based in Holland, and they actually have a product called the Dutch Weed Burger, and it's a vegetarian burger that they make with seaweed. And we are very excited to try one soon.
Neither of us have tried one.
I actually went to...
We need to go on a road trip to Holland.
the burger road trip. So yeah, definitely check them out. We can't say enough good things about this cookbook, and the pictures alone are beautiful, as well as the recipes.
So just repeat where you can find your products,
Okay.
because
Yeah.
there was no sound.
Okay.
Oh, sorry about that. So in terms of finding the products, you can check out mermaidfare.com. Also, Taylor, do you want to list the Nova Scotia retailers?
Yep, so just to name a few is Pete's Frutique, the Healthy Bug in Halifax, Nature's Cove on the Bedford Highway, Fisherman's Picnic in Lunenburg, Scotia Trawler, and there's a few more as well.
Are they on your site?
Yeah, if you send us a message, we can send you a full list. Yeah.
And then ideally soon, we're hoping to carry some of the seaweed products in Ottawa and across Ontario. That's in the works. So if you own a health food store or retail store and you're looking to incorporate some of these amazing nutrient-dense products, just reach out to me through my Facebook page or at info@amylongard.com. And we're also looking to incorporate these in some restaurants as well. So hopefully we'll see more seaweed in Ottawa. And also feel free to reach out to me if you're looking to order any of these products, and if you're in Ontario, and I can help you set that up through our online shipping. Any other questions? Oh, okay. So we also will show, Taylor had a few good ideas on showing you how to incorporate this stuff. These are potentially future products through Mermaid Fare.
Yeah. So this is a rice product. This has a blend of different seaweeds, some spices. So you just cook the rice like you normally would, except it's going to have all this extra stuff. And this is a soup mix. So this is really tasty as well. It's got some dehydrated vegetables, seaweeds. You can use vegetable stock or just water, but there's lots of flavor.
And if you before you have that, you can take any of the seaweed products and put them in your rice, or
Yes,
put them
of
in the
course.
soup.
Cook rice with the seaweed.
Yeah,
Mhm.
absolutely.
So it's a great way again to enhance flavor, enhance the nutritional profile of your foods.
Yeah, and the quinoa goes really
Quinoa,
nice with
yes.
quinoa. We love quinoa.
So quinoa rice.
Yeah, and these are some of the ingredients for the seaweed salad: the maple syrup, rice vinegar, tamari. You can't go wrong with those ingredients on just about anything. Those are some mushrooms that you can reconstitute and chop up.
And add in, yes,
Yeah.
maybe on some buckwheat noodles as well. One of the things that I think you've done before is use buckwheat noodles, add in some seaweed on top, some tofu, scallions, and a nice dressing, and
Yeah,
it's a really nice complete meal.
yeah.
So what else were we going to tell everyone about? Does anyone have any more questions? Because we're going to wrap up soon. Any questions? Okay. So if you're interested in learning more about any of these products, or if you want to chat with us about seaweed, please leave the questions below. We'll come back and check later because we know this is live. Oh, is there a question?
Just a question, Amy. Do you have any plans to hold another seaweed workshop in Ottawa? I missed you the last one.
Yeah, actually, I am going to host another one in the fall. I'm actually setting that up. So if you're interested, make sure to go onto my website and sign up for my newsletter. It's just at the bottom. It's at amylongard.com. Scroll to the bottom and be sure to sign up for my newsletter. And I will definitely host another one actually in Halifax as well. I'm going to host one in Ottawa. I'm going to be here in October hosting one in Halifax. So Taylor may or may not be here for the Halifax edition, but I'm going to host two more in the fall. One in Ottawa, one in Halifax. The dates are TBD, so stay tuned. And do we have any other questions?
Comment. This was great.
Okay, thank you so much for tuning in.
Thank you for watching. Yeah.
Feel free to reach out to both to me or Taylor with any questions. We're happy to answer you. And if I can't answer any of the technical stuff, Taylor is just a wealth of knowledge. So be sure to follow Mermaid Fare. If you're on Amy Longer nutrition page, go check out Taylor's page. She shares recipes, she shares articles, lots of nutrition information. And I know a lot of people who are following my page are interested in plant-based health, so Taylor shares tons of stuff along the lines of that topic, as well as sustainability. So a lot of us are conscious about the environment, which is basically your ethos of your company. So
Yes.
So definitely check out Taylor's page. And is there another question?
Just thank you for my lunch break learning class.
Oh, we're so happy to teach you. So thank you so much for tuning in, and be sure to reach out to us and comment below if you're watching this after the fact. Taylor, did you want to share any tips or updates, any fun facts?
Yeah, just that we're really excited. And again, if you're in Ontario or Ottawa, get in touch with Amy. Amy is a registered holistic nutritionist, so she can tell you a lot about, in more detail, the specific health benefits, and she as well has lots of information. So yeah, we're really excited, and we're excited for people to like seaweed and have it in their diets for all the good stuff.
So thanks a lot. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
So I'll try to turn that off. We'll see if it's
Finish. Finish.